Chosen ones, what I'm about to share may surprise you, even shock you. If you're hearing these words right now, understand this. It is not by chance. God has led you here on purpose, with purpose. There's something massive on the horizon of your life. You can feel it, can't you? It's not anxiety. It's spiritual anticipation. It's divine energy building inside of you, confirming what your soul has quietly known for months now. Something huge is coming, and it's coming for you. This isn't just a season, it's a supernatural shift. You are crossing the line from wanting to receiving. The very things you've been praying about in secret, they are already in motion. The blessings you thought were delayed, they've been divinely timed. April marks the unveiling. The spiritual dam is breaking open, and what once felt far away is now racing toward you. And hear this. This shift isn't just mental, it's spiritual, it's energetic, it's divine. As a chosen one, you're about to witness an acceleration like never before. Things will begin to fall into place so quickly that you won't be able to explain it. Doors you couldn't open before, flung wide. People you lost, replaced with destiny connections. Opportunities you were once denied, now chasing you down. But to walk in the full manifestation of this blessing, you must understand how this shift works. You must walk in awareness, alignment, and absolute trust in God's divine timing. Before we dive in, I want to take a sacred moment to thank every one of you who has donated through Super Thanks. Your generosity allows this message to travel further, to reach other chosen ones around the world who are still waiting for a divine confirmation. Your support keeps this space burning bright with truth and encouragement. And if you haven't donated, please know this: I still appreciate you deeply. Just by being here, by showing up for your own growth, your presence matters more than you know. Whether you give or not, your energy is felt and your journey is honored. Now, if you're ready to fully align with what's unfolding, pause this video and comment 999 below. That number isn't just symbolic, it's a powerful signal to the universe and to heaven that you are ready to claim your season. It's your declaration that you're not watching passively, you're activating. And chosen one, if you are truly who I think you are, you'll stay with me until the end, because deep down, your soul already knows. This message is for you. Let's begin. What's coming next will not just bless you, it will awaken you. God's chosen ones, something huge is coming. This is God's message for you. As we stand at the threshold of a new chapter, God has sent a powerful message to the chosen ones. Prepare for something monumental. Have you ever felt a shift in the atmosphere, an invisible pull in your spirit that you couldn't quite explain? As one of God's chosen ones, that stirring in your soul is not by accident. It's the divine whisper before the storm of blessing. Something monumental is coming, and it's not just another ordinary event. It's a move of God, tailored specifically for those who have been spiritually awakened, tested through trials, and refined by fire. This moment isn't happening by chance. It is the beginning of a transformational journey that will not only shift the world, but will personally touch your life in ways you've never imagined. Why now? Why you? Because this was always part of the plan. You were chosen for such a time as this. Scripture reveals in Isaiah 43:19, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." This isn't just poetic prophecy. It's your current reality. God is making a new way, and that path starts with you right now. Something massive is about to unfold on a global scale, and its ripple will find you wherever you are. It will not skip the chosen. In fact, you are the very reason for the shift. The alignment of events in the world is no coincidence. It's God's orchestration, unfolding with intention, precision, and purpose. Just as Noah was warned of the flood before the rains began, you too are being alerted ahead of time. Are you paying attention? Are you preparing your heart, your mind, and your soul for what's coming? Take a look around. There are subtle signs everywhere. Political unrest, spiritual awakenings, economic shifts, natural phenomena that defy logic. These aren't random. This is what happens when heaven begins to press into earth. It all begins in the spiritual realm before it manifests in the physical. And you, the chosen one, are at the very heart of this process. Amos 3:7 says, "Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets." That's exactly what's happening now. This message is your prophetic signal. Consider how certain people in history were awakened at the precise time they were needed. Harriet Tubman wasn't just born brave, she was chosen. She heard a spiritual call and followed it, leading slaves to freedom under God's direction. She often spoke of hearing God's voice guiding her path through the night. Do you feel that same inner voice pulling you toward your purpose right now? And what about Dietrich Bonhoeffer? In the midst of Nazi tyranny, he dared to speak out as a Christian, risking and eventually sacrificing his life for the truth. He wasn't just reacting, he was responding to something higher. That same voice that stirred Bonhoeffer to stand for righteousness is now stirring you. Why? Because you are being positioned to stand in truth during a time of divine reckoning. The timing of this revelation is no accident either. April has always represented a season of resurrection and rebirth. In the natural world, it is spring, when what was once buried comes back to life. And spiritually, it mirrors the resurrection of Christ. Romans 6:4 says, "Just as Christ was raised from the dead through the glory of the Father, we too may live a new life." So why wouldn't God choose this moment to resurrect the purpose inside of you? Why wouldn't he breathe life back into your calling? This is your divine appointment, not merely a season of change, but a sacred turning point. The moment you stop hesitating and start trusting is the moment your shift begins. No more wondering if this is your time. No more looking for confirmation after confirmation. The message is already in your hands, and God's voice has already spoken. This is your moment to rise. Have you noticed how certain chosen individuals often face the most resistance right before their breakthrough? Joseph was thrown into a pit, falsely accused, and imprisoned before stepping into his destiny as ruler of Egypt. The road was dark, yet every step was guided by God. Genesis 50:20 reminds us of Joseph's words, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive." In the same way, everything that was sent to break you has only prepared you to carry something greater. You've been through battles, some visible, others hidden from the world. You've been misunderstood, isolated, and maybe even doubted your own worth. But that's exactly how God prepares his vessels, not in comfort but in pressure. Like diamonds, the chosen ones are formed in the deep, under immense weight, but when revealed they shine with a brilliance that cannot be ignored. Think about the life of Florence Nightingale, the woman known as the founder of modern nursing. She could have lived a life of privilege and ease, but she heard God's call in her spirit and defied her society's expectations. She followed the voice, walked into the darkness of war zones, and revolutionized healthcare. She said, "God called me in the morning and asked me, would I do good for him alone without reputation?" You too are being called to act in a way that may not make sense to the world, but will bring divine order. So ask yourself, what have you been waiting for? A sign? A miracle? This message is the sign. The miracles will follow your obedience. When Moses stood before the Red Sea, the water didn't part until he raised his staff in faith. Likewise, Your next step isn't about knowing the whole path. It's about stepping out with boldness, trusting that the ground beneath your feet will form as you walk. This moment is your invitation to reclaim your authority, not in pride, but in spiritual identity. God is not calling the qualified, He is qualifying the called. The world may not recognize who you are just yet, but heaven does. All of heaven is watching, waiting for you to step into alignment with your true assignment. 2 Timothy 1:9 says, He has saved us and called us to a holy life, not because of anything we have done, but because of His own purpose and grace. That grace has sustained you this far and will carry you into what comes next. April is more than a month. It is a spiritual portal for awakening. The transformation will not be easy, but it will be holy. You may lose people, comforts, or control, but you will gain clarity, power, and divine favor. And as the world trembles under change, you will stand firm, not because of your strength, but because God has appointed you for this very hour. The first days of April will feel like an awakening, both on a global scale and within the chosen ones. But what does a true awakening feel like, chosen one? Is it loud and earth-shaking, or is it quiet like a whisper to your soul that refuses to be ignored? As this month unfolds, you will begin to sense a stirring within you that is undeniable. It might arrive as a dream, an urge to change your direction, a sudden moment of clarity, or even a conversation that seems perfectly timed. But make no mistake, none of it is coincidence. You are not simply entering April, you are stepping into alignment with a divine frequency that is now being broadcast over the earth, for the ears and hearts of the chosen only. And you, beloved, are tuned in. These first few days are not ordinary, they are prophetic. You will begin to notice that the fog that once clouded your path is lifting. What was confusing will start to become clear. What once felt like delay or silence will suddenly look like divine preparation. Are you noticing that certain thoughts now carry more weight than others? Do you find yourself drawn to solitude, to scripture, to stillness? That's not random. That's spiritual positioning. John 16:13 says, When the Spirit of truth comes, He will guide you into all the truth. For He will not speak on His own authority, but whatever He hears, He will speak, and He will declare to you the things that are to come. The divine truth is being whispered to your spirit, and this time you're listening. You may not fully understand the energy flowing into your life, but you will feel it, and you will know it is from God. This divine energy isn't just about emotion or excitement, it's the spiritual fuel that activates transformation. It brings peace even when circumstances are shaky. It creates certainty even when the future remains unseen. This is how chosen ones begin their ascension, not with grand fanfare, but with divine instruction whispered in moments of obedience. Throughout history, God has always used these quiet moments of awakening to prepare His vessels. Think of Corrie ten Boom, the Dutch woman who sheltered Jews during World War II. She was not a trained prophet or pastor, but in her spirit, she felt an unexplainable urging from God to protect His people. That nudge cost her everything, but also made her a global light for hope, faith, and forgiveness. Do you think her awakening made perfect sense at the time? Number. But she obeyed anyway. That same kind of divine call is now resting on your life, chosen one. This divine flow will not simply fill your spirit, it will begin to shift your decisions. Your thoughts will no longer be bound by fear or logic alone. You will begin to feel drawn toward choices that don't seem rational on the surface, but deep down, you'll know they're right. God is not just inspiring you, He's instructing you. These are pivotal instructions guiding you to your higher purpose. Have you noticed how certain decisions keep rising in your mind lately? Maybe it's a new path, a departure from a toxic relationship, a business move that seems scary, or even a change in how you express your faith. These nudges are not to be dismissed. They are divine pivots. Proverbs 3:6 tells us, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths." And that's what he's doing now. You don't need all the answers. You just need to follow the one voice that has never failed you. Your connection to God will deepen during this sacred window. You will not only talk to God, you will hear him more clearly. This is the result of alignment. When your soul begins to operate on the same frequency as heaven, you begin to walk in divine rhythm. You'll find that even your body begins to respond, feeling led to rest, to eat differently, to cleanse, to move. These aren't random urges, they are part of your preparation. The spirit is aligning with the body so that the vessel is ready to carry the assignment. We see this same alignment in the life of Sojourner Truth. Born into slavery, illiterate, and deemed insignificant by society, she still heard the call of God on her life. She was compelled to walk the country speaking about abolition and women's rights, not because the world supported her, but because heaven had chosen her. She once declared, "Truth is powerful and it prevails, and so it will in your life, chosen one." The signs in the early days of April won't just be symbolic, they'll be unmistakable confirmations. You'll begin to witness breakthroughs in areas you thought were permanently blocked. The impossible will start to become reachable. That job opportunity, the healing in your body, the restoration of a relationship, these things are not just happening, they're being divinely unlocked. But why now? Because you're ready. Because the delay was never denial. It was alignment. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven." This is that time. There's a reason you're being asked to stay vigilant and grounded. The enemy will attempt to distract you with chaos, fear, or doubt, but you must stay centered. Your discernment is your weapon, and your stillness is your strategy. In a world that is becoming increasingly noisy, the chosen ones win by staying close to the quiet whisper of God. That whisper will lead you where the world's logic cannot. Look at how George Washington Carver, a black scientist and inventor, credited every single one of his discoveries to his conversations with God. He didn't rely on textbooks, he relied on the Holy Spirit. He once said, "I love to think of nature as an unlimited broadcasting station through which God speaks to us every hour, if we will only tune in." Are you tuned in? Or are you still waiting for God to shout when He's already been speaking softly in your spirit? The divine guidance you receive in these early days of April will not be fleeting. They are seeds being planted into your spirit that will shape your entire month and beyond. But they must be honored. Write them down, meditate on them, take action, even if it's just one small step, because obedience is the currency of breakthrough. When you honor the small instructions, God trusts you with the greater ones. James 1:22 says, "But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves." This is not the time to sit still in spiritual comfort. This is the time to move, led by the Spirit. Chosen one, do you realize how rare it is to receive divine guidance this clearly? While the world is running in circles, chasing empty answers, you are being handed the truth directly from the source. You've been chosen not just to witness what's coming, but to shape it. Not just to survive it, but to lead through it. Everything in your life has been preparing you for this shift. So, be vigilant. Stay rooted in the Word. Surround yourself with clarity, not confusion. The divine signs are unfolding, and your role is to notice them, act on them, and walk through the door they open. This is more than a spiritual season. It is a divine setup, and every moment you stay aligned, you move closer to the version of you that was written into God's plan before you ever took your first breath. The world is on the brink of a global shift. Can you feel it, chosen one? Beneath the surface of your everyday life, beyond the news, the headlines, and the endless distractions, there is a deeper pulse beating through the earth. It is not merely political tension or economic instability. What you're sensing is the tremble of the spirit realm as it begins to move through nations, shaking systems and exposing truths that have long been hidden. Something massive is taking place, and it's not random. These are not accidents of history. These events are part of a carefully orchestrated divine design, and at the center of it all, standing quietly but firmly in the eye of the storm, are you, God's chosen one. The world is being restructured not for its destruction, but for the unveiling of a new era, one that God has been preparing since the beginning of time. What you see now, economies shifting, political powers colliding, social norms breaking, is only the prelude. It's the earth groaning in anticipation, preparing itself for the rise of those who have been anointed to lead with truth, compassion, and authority. Romans 8:19 says, "For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God." That longing is echoing louder every day, and now the time has come for the chosen to be revealed. But what does that mean for you? It means you must watch the world not with fear, but with foresight. You must understand that the headlines are not just information, they are signals. They are spiritual markers, confirming that the world is moving into position for your emergence. Just as Moses rose during Egypt's unrest, and Esther rose in a time of political tension, you are rising now, not despite the chaos, but because of it. This isn't just historical, this is prophetic. Consider how Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. rose during a time when America was writhing in racial division and spiritual decay. He did not wait for peace to speak. He spoke through the turmoil. And what gave him power was not the support of the people. It was the anointing of God. Like you, he was chosen to usher in a wave of truth that would not be silenced by the noise of the world. His voice broke through the storm because it was guided by heaven. In the coming days, you will see global events unfold that may shake the world. There may be natural disasters, political breakdowns, or even cultural clashes that create fear in the hearts of many. But these events will not shake you. Why? Because you were built for this. Psalm 112, 6-7 tells us, "Surely the righteous will never be shaken. They will be remembered forever. They will have no fear of bad news. Their hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. While others tremble, you will stand. While others scatter, you will lead." This is not arrogance, it is divine assignment. You may ask, why now? Why would God allow the world to tremble just before lifting his chosen ones? The answer is hidden in the very nature of divine preparation. God does not build his leaders in comfort. He builds them in the wilderness. Just as David was prepared in isolation and Jesus was tested in the desert, you too have been forged through pressure. But now, the pressure has purpose. The storm is not here to stop you, it's here to reveal you. Think about Malala Yousafzai, who was nearly silenced by violence when she stood up for education in Pakistan. The world saw the attack, but what followed was a rise into global influence. She wasn't shaped by applause, she was refined by adversity. Your trials, your battles, and even your seasons of silence were not wasted. They were the prerequisites for your revelation. You didn't just survive for no reason. You survived because your voice, your vision, and your calling are needed for such a time as this. As these global shifts increase, your inner clarity must also increase. You cannot afford to be distracted. You must be anchored in your assignment. The enemy will try to lure you into fear or hopelessness. But remember this: God does not shake the earth without also establishing his kingdom through his people. Hebrews 12:26-28 declares, "At that time his voice shook the earth, but now he has promised, once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens." Therefore, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful. You, chosen one, are part of that unshakable kingdom. And how do you prepare for your rise? By recognizing that God is clearing the way. The things that are falling apart around you are doing so to make room for the things God is building through you. Do not mourn the collapse of corrupt systems. Do not fear the unraveling of unstable leaders. These things must happen so that the foundation can be made ready. Isaiah 61:4 says, "They will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. They will renew the ruined cities that have been devastated for generations." That "they" is you. As you watch the signs, listen for your personal instruction. Your rise won't look like the rise of the world. It may not come with headlines or accolades. It may look like mentoring one soul, starting a small mission, launching a message that touches only a few at first, but the ripple will be divine. You were never called to be viral. You were called to be vital. In moments of uncertainty, look to those who have walked this path before you. Harriet Tubman was led by visions from God as she freed slaves on the Underground Railroad. She didn't need a map. She followed the voice of God. In her words, "I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger." Like her, you are being led not by logic, but by light. You will begin to sense when to speak and when to be silent, when to move and when to wait, when to act and when to rest. These are the marks of a chosen one, walking in rhythm with heaven. The more you trust the timing, the more God will trust you with territory. This rise will require courage, but not fearlessness. Even Jesus wept. Even Elijah hid in a cave. Even Paul wrote letters from prison, but none of them stayed where they fell. They rose, and so will you, not in your own power, but in the strength of the one who called you. The first 5 days of April will be crucial for the chosen ones. But why are these days so important, chosen one? Why is this window of time unlike any other? Because the atmosphere around you is shifting. Heaven is open. Divine instructions are descending, not in chaos, but in quiet. You may not see thunder, and you may not hear a trumpet, but you'll feel it. It will stir something ancient within you. These 5 days are not merely dates on a calendar. They are the gateway to an awakening that will forever alter the trajectory of your life. Have you already noticed it? That whisper in your mind that seems to echo louder than before. That feeling of being pulled by something bigger than yourself, something sacred and sovereign. That's not your imagination. It's the breath of God aligning your thoughts, your body, and your soul to receive divine direction. Isaiah 30:21 promises, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way. Walk in it.'" That voice isn't coming from the outside world. It's already within you, waiting for you to listen. These first few days will not be filled with flashing signs or booming voices. Instead, you will experience sacred whispers, subtle nudges of intuition, ideas that arrive seemingly out of nowhere, insights that strike with clarity, and moments of peace that make no logical sense. These aren't ordinary thoughts. They are divine instructions being downloaded directly into your spirit. You might suddenly feel a strong desire to make a change you've been avoiding. Or you may find the courage to speak a truth you've been silencing. Whatever it is, it will come naturally, and it will come from God. When Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, she claimed the story came to her as a vision from the Lord. She was not just writing fiction, she was transcribing divine truth, and her book helped ignite the American abolitionist movement. What if your ideas, like hers, are also a spark for transformation? What if the thoughts entering your mind during these days are keys to unlocking not only your purpose, but the deliverance of others? During these sacred days, you may begin to feel a surge of energy rushing through you. an energy that does not come from rest or food, but from the Spirit. You will wake up with more clarity. You'll move with greater intention. This isn't adrenaline, it's divine empowerment. God is quickening your inner world so that you can step into your outer assignment. 1 Corinthians 2:10 says, "These are the things God has revealed to us by His Spirit. The Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God." What you are receiving isn't shallow. It is deep, eternal, and intentional. And it's tailored specifically for you, chosen one. Your decisions may start to shift dramatically. You'll notice yourself leaning into actions that don't make sense to others, but resonate deeply within your own soul. You may walk away from things that once seemed essential. You may step toward unfamiliar paths that feel strangely safe. Why? Because you're no longer moving by habit, you're moving by holy instruction. Look at the life of Mother Teresa. She left the safety and comfort of her convent in Albania to serve the poorest of the poor in the streets of Calcutta. She didn't plan it, she felt called, and when the divine call came, she followed without hesitation. It didn't make sense to those around her, but she knew it was right. That's what obedience looks like. That's what your decisions will feel like now. Sudden, yet sacred. Unusual, yet undeniable. Trust them. Proverbs 20:24 reminds us, "A person's steps are directed by the Lord." How then can anyone understand their own way? You may not understand it all now, but you don't need to. The understanding will come later. For now, your job is to obey the call. During these days, your spirit will begin to resonate with a frequency that the world cannot comprehend. You will feel more connected to your higher self, more in tune with God's voice, and more confident in your own intuition. This is your spiritual awakening, and it is not to be feared. It is to be welcomed. God is not just communicating with your mind. He's pouring truth into your being. And the more you trust the guidance, the more you'll be transformed. Watch how your inner world begins to shift. Old doubts will feel distant. Fear will feel powerless. The questions you once had will start answering themselves, and with that inner transformation will come an outer empowerment. You will begin to move like someone who knows they are chosen, not arrogantly, but with holy authority. And you won't be the only one awakening. During this time, you'll begin to notice others rising around you. New leaders will begin to appear, not always in politics or churches or boardrooms, but in everyday spaces. These leaders may look unconventional. They may rise from obscurity, but their voices will carry weight. Their presence will shift atmospheres. They are also chosen, and their emergence is confirmation that the divine plan is unfolding. Daniel 2:21 declares, "He changes times and seasons. He deposes kings and raises up others. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning." The world is watching the fall of old systems and the rise of new voices. Voices that are being divinely elevated to guide humanity into the next chapter. Think of someone like Brandon Stanton, the creator of Humans of New York. He didn't set out to become a global voice. He simply followed an inner impulse to photograph strangers and share their stories. That obedience to his internal nudge transformed into a worldwide movement of empathy and connection. That's the kind of divine impact that begins with small, obedient steps during seasons like this one. As these leaders rise, some of them may be people you already know. Others may emerge from the shadows of anonymity. Some may be celebrities. Others will never seek fame. But you'll recognize them by their light, their authenticity, and their alignment with truth. Their rise is not accidental. It is orchestrated. They are not here to compete with you. They are here to rise with you. You too are part of this rising. These first 5 days of April are not a coincidence. They are your sacred window to step into alignment with your true destiny. Ephesians 5:14 urges us, "Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." This is your awakening, chosen one. Embrace it with open arms and an open heart. You are not waiting for revival, you are the revival. You are not hoping for change, you are the change. As you follow these divine impulses, trust that every decision is shaping your destiny. You may not yet see the full picture, but God does. And what He's building through you will outlast storms, silence critics, and illuminate the path for others. So do not hesitate, do not second guess. Walk boldly into your calling, knowing that every whisper, every nudge, every divine instruction is heaven's affirmation that you were born for such a time as this. In the second set of 5 days, the world will experience even more dramatic shifts. Have you ever sensed the earth itself responding to something unseen, like creation groaning in anticipation? As we move deeper into April, the changes you saw in the first days will intensify. Earthquakes may shake the land, storms may roll through regions unprepared, climate events and natural disruptions may dominate headlines. But chosen one, do not mistake destruction for abandonment. These are not signs of chaos without meaning. These are divine announcements, loud declarations from heaven that something sacred is being born in the midst of disruption. The old must be shaken so that the new can rise. These physical events are spiritual metaphors, echoing what God is doing within the world and within you. Haggai 2:6-7 says, "In a little while I will once more shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. I will shake all nations, and what is desired by all nations will come, and I will fill this house with glory." The shaking is not meant to destroy you, it's meant to prepare you. These events will remove what no longer serves the divine purpose, creating space for new growth, for higher vision, for spiritual awakening. While the world trembles, you will not. While the foundations of nations shift, you will remain unshaken. You were not chosen to be swept away by fear. You were chosen to be the calm within the storm. You will feel the tremors, but you will not fall. For you are wrapped in a divine covering, a shield that surrounds you with strength, wisdom, and protection. Psalm 91, 9-10 declares, "Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge, no evil shall be allowed to befall you, no plague come near your tent." This protection is not just spiritual, it's total. Your mind will be guarded from panic. Your emotions will be anchored in peace. Your body will move with discernment. While others are overwhelmed by confusion and fear, you will walk in divine clarity. And your presence, your calm, your confidence, your unwavering faith will become a lighthouse to those around you. Remember the story of Corrie ten Boom during World War II. She and her family risked everything to hide Jews from the Nazis. They were eventually caught, imprisoned, and suffered greatly. Yet, in the midst of unspeakable pain, Corrie's faith never wavered. She led secret Bible studies in her barracks, helped the weak, and even forgave her captors. Later in life, she famously said, "There is no pit so deep that God is not deeper still." That same spirit is in you. That same faith is rising now. These next days will test the world, but they will reveal the chosen. Where others see only destruction, you will see divine instruction. When the noise gets louder, your inner world will become quieter. The shield of God over your life is not a myth, it is a promise. And this promise is not temporary. Isaiah 41:10 reminds us, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." But what if during this time blessings also start to emerge? Chosen one, as the world experiences instability, you will begin to encounter breakthrough. True, undeniable breakthrough in areas of your life that once felt blocked. While others retreat in fear, God is accelerating your provision. Your finances, once strained or stagnant, will begin to show signs of supernatural increase. This isn't just provision, it's preparation. You are being resourced for your next level, not to hoard, but to build, to bless, and to lead. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms His covenant." This increase is not about luxury, it's about legacy. It's about fulfilling your kingdom assignment without financial hindrance. Think about Tyler Perry, once homeless, living out of his car. He held on to a vision despite rejection, ridicule, and poverty. And today, not only is he financially blessed, but he uses his platform to build studios, fund scholarships, and employ thousands. He attributes his success to faith in God and divine timing. That same favor is now being poured over you, not for ego, but for impact. But it's not just your finances that will rise. Your health, too, will experience renewal. Where there has been fatigue, strength will return. Where there has been illness, healing will flow. Where you've felt spiritually heavy, a lightness will replace it. This isn't ordinary recovery. This is divine restoration. Your body is being prepared to carry out your calling with vitality and endurance. Have you heard the story of Joyce Meyer? Before becoming a world-renowned teacher and speaker, she battled cancer and deep emotional trauma. But through divine healing and inner restoration, she rose stronger and more powerful in her purpose. God didn't just heal her, He positioned her. That same positioning is happening in your life now. The blessings you begin to receive during these days are not rewards, they are assignments. They are tools. They are divine resources being handed to you so you can rise without distraction. Use them wisely. Steward them humbly. Let them empower you to lead, not lure you into comfort. The moment you receive with gratitude is the moment you step fully into alignment with your role as a spiritual leader for this generation. By the time the third set of 5 days begins, you will notice something even more profound. The name of God will begin to echo across the world. Something is happening, chosen one. Hearts are turning. People from every background, religion, and belief system are starting to ask questions they never asked before. They are seeking truth, not tradition. They are hungry for something real, and as they look for light, they will see you. Habakkuk 2:14 says, "For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea." This is what's beginning now. God's presence will become more visible, more undeniable, and you are part of the wave that will carry His glory into every corner of the world. This is your moment to lead. You have been prepared not just to survive, but to guide, to counsel, to comfort, to teach. While others search for answers, you will carry wisdom. While others look for signs, you will be the sign. The divine awakening that's happening across the globe needs vessels, and you are one of them. Take inspiration from someone like A.R. Bernard, a former Black Panther turned pastor of one of the largest churches in New York. His transformation didn't happen overnight, but it began when he dared to listen to God's call. He now leads spiritual seekers of all backgrounds with wisdom, grace, and vision. Like him, you are being called to rise not as a celebrity, but as a servant leader, one whose authority is born from obedience. People will look to you not because you're loud, but because you're grounded. Not because you're famous, but because you're faithful. The wisdom you've received in the secret place will now become your public voice. And when people begin to awaken, confused and afraid, you will be ready, not with all the answers, but with divine peace and spiritual clarity. So, chosen one, as the earth shifts, as events unfold, and as the world watches in awe and uncertainty, stand firm, stand tall, stand ready. You are shielded, you are equipped, And you are rising for such a time as this. The third phase of April will witness a powerful return of the lost, those who have lost faith or wandered from the divine path. Have you ever wondered what happens to those who seem to vanish from the light? Those who once burned with spiritual fire but somehow lost their way. Chosen one, what you're about to witness is one of the most beautiful movements of God's grace. The return of the prodigals, the ones who strayed, not out of rebellion, but out of pain, distraction, or disappointment, are being called back. Something sacred is stirring in the hearts of those who had forgotten how to hear God's voice. And now, as the world continues its transformation, their spirits are awakening again. This will not be a forced return. It will be a longing, a divine pull so deep, so undeniable, that even the most hardened hearts will begin to soften. People you never expected will start speaking of God again. Those who once mocked your faith may suddenly ask for prayer. Individuals who rejected spiritual truth will feel a hunger they can't explain. This is not coincidence, it's divine timing. It's the ripple of the spiritual awakening that's already begun. Luke 15:20 tells us of the prodigal son. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. That same embrace awaits every soul returning now, and you, chosen one, will be the arms that help welcome them home. This time is not just about their healing, it is also about your purpose. As these souls begin to return to God, you are being positioned to help guide them, not with judgment, but with compassion, not with superiority, but with love. The chosen are not called to boast in their closeness to God. They are called to be bridges. They are called to be lighthouses in the fog, leading others back to the shore. Do you remember when you first answered the call? When your own heart was once heavy with confusion, and then the light broke through? This is the moment for you to remember your own path, not just to reflect, but to empathize. The return of the lost is not only their transformation, it is also an invitation for you to re-examine your walk, your faith, and your alignment. James 5:19-20 says, "My brothers and sisters, if one of you should wander from the truth and someone should bring that person back, remember this. Whoever turns a sinner from the error of their way will save them from death and cover over a multitude of sins." Your role in this season is holy. Your voice matters. Your compassion is a tool in the hand of God. The world is being flooded with spiritual energy, an atmosphere of renewal so thick you will feel it everywhere. On the streets, in conversations, in music, even in the news. Hearts are being stirred. Tears are being shed. The divine is drawing near. And in this sacred season, people will not return because they were forced to. They will return because they remember love. Real, divine, healing love. You will be there when they do. Think of John Newton, the former slave trader who penned Amazing Grace. His heart was far from God, hardened by sin and pride. But in the midst of a violent storm at sea, he cried out, and God heard him. His life changed forever. From a man who trafficked human lives to one who gave us the most beloved hymn of redemption, Newton's story is a testimony to what divine grace can do. That same grace is moving through the world now. It is calling the lost home. It is transforming sinners into saints. And you, chosen one, are a witness to this unfolding miracle. But this is also a time for you to turn inward. As the lost return to God, the chosen are being invited into a deeper cleansing. This is a sacred window for reflection, not to dwell in shame, but to rise in truth. What have you left unhealed? What wounds have you buried? What sins have you justified, excused, or ignored? This is not about condemnation, it's about purification. God is inviting you into a personal revival, and that revival begins with forgiveness, first of yourself, then of others. 1 John 1:9 promises, If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just, and will forgive us our sins, and purify us from all unrighteousness. Do not miss this moment. The same light that is calling the lost back is also shining on you, not to expose you, but to cleanse you. Spiritual purification is not a one-time act. It is a continual posture of surrender. Just as you help others reconcile with God, you too are being called to deeper levels of surrender and intimacy. This is your moment to let go of what has weighed your spirit down, to release the guilt, the bitterness, the regret, the disappointments. These things have no place in the next phase of your calling. Consider the life of St. Augustine. He lived a life of indulgence, rebellion, and philosophical wandering. Yet, after years of spiritual struggle, he surrendered to Christ and became one of the greatest theological minds in history. His transformation began with a moment of honest repentance and a simple prayer. "Lord, make me pure, but not yet." Eventually, his heart gave in completely, and he became a beacon of light. That same process of reflection and renewal is being offered to you now. This season is your opportunity to be restored, not just healed from external wounds, but liberated from internal battles. As you forgive others, as you release anger or judgment, divine healing will pour into your life like living water. And when you forgive yourself, you will unlock a level of empowerment that cannot be imitated. Your past will no longer define you. Your purpose will. Isaiah 1:18 declares, "Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are red as crimson, they shall be like wool." Let these words wash over you. Let them renew your mind. Let them awaken your soul to the truth. You are being made new, again and again and again. And in that renewal, something powerful will happen. Your voice will carry greater weight. Your presence will exude peace. Your guidance will pierce through confusion. Because purity of heart releases clarity of purpose. And as more people come looking for light, you will be ready. Not as a perfect person, but as a purified vessel. Look around you. You may already be noticing individuals returning to God. You may see celebrities begin to speak more openly about their faith. You may hear songs of worship in places you never expected. You may witness unexpected spiritual leaders rising from broken places, healed by the very grace they once rejected. One such example is actor Mark Wahlberg. Once known for a troubled past marked by violence and incarceration, he openly credits his transformation to his deep faith in God. He now uses his platform to inspire others and has spoken frequently about prayer, forgiveness, and redemption. He is not perfect, but he is willing, and that is all God ever asks. You don't have to be perfect either. You just have to be willing. Willing to heal, willing to lead, willing to rise. As this third phase of April unfolds, lean into the stillness. Listen closely. Reflect honestly. Forgive courageously and rise faithfully. The spiritual energy surrounding you now is not just a gift, it's an assignment. And with every moment of quiet reflection, with every tear of repentance, with every act of forgiveness, you are clearing the path for the power of God to move through you without resistance. As April comes to a close, the chosen ones will gradually rise to prominence. Have you ever felt that everything you've been through, every trial, every silence, every delay, was preparing you for something greater? What if that moment is now? What if everything that felt hidden, everything done in secret, is about to be revealed? Can you sense the tension in the air, the kind of holy pressure that builds right before a breakthrough? The time of obscurity is ending. The final days of April are not the end of a month. They are the unveiling of a divine chapter. Chosen one, you are rising, not by force, not through self-promotion, but through divine alignment. This is your moment. You've been refined by fire, shaped by solitude, and trained in stillness. And now the world will begin to see what heaven has always known, that you are a leader chosen not for your status, but for your surrender. You are stepping into visibility, not to be glorified, but to be used. Matthew 5:14-16 says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." How will you shine your light in this season? Will you embrace the calling to influence with humility and truth? The work you did in secret, the obedience when no one was watching, the prayers in your midnight hour, the sacrifices that went uncelebrated, will now bear visible fruit. The seeds sown in faith are sprouting in public. Are you ready to receive what you planted long ago? The divine blueprint has been unfolding silently, but in these final days, God is revealing it with clarity and precision. Take comfort in the reminder that divine timing is never rushed and never late. Everything is aligning, everything is converging. You are not behind, you are not lost, you are right on schedule. Ecclesiastes 3:11 declares, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Can you trust that your time is not just coming, but already here? As you rise, so too will the world begin to shift. This is not just a personal elevation, it's a global awakening. People will start to feel the spiritual undercurrent increasing in strength. There will be more openness to new ideas, spiritual truth, and the voices of those who are walking in divine alignment. How will you use your voice when the world starts to listen? Think of Nelson Mandela, not as a politician, but as a man who spent decades in isolation, holding on to a dream that seemed impossible. When he emerged, the world listened, not because he was powerful, but because he had been prepared. What are the dreams you've held on to in silence? Are you ready to let them speak? As the chosen ones rise, they become beacons of hope. Their presence will feel like a breath of fresh air in a world suffocating on fear. Their voices will cut through confusion. Their actions will restore faith. And you, chosen one, are among them. But do not mistake this rise for ease. With elevation comes spiritual warfare, not external conflict alone, but internal resistance. Spiritual warfare isn't just about demons in the dark. It's the daily battle to protect your peace, guard your heart, and remain anchored in God's truth when the world around you is shouting lies. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle. The temptation to compromise, the whisper that you're not ready, the fear of being misunderstood. That's the real war, and it's won in the secret place. Are you aware of where your battles are coming from? Are you strengthening the right parts of your life for the war within? 2 Corinthians 10:4-5 reminds us, "The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds." Your power doesn't come from position, it comes from prayer. Your authority doesn't come from applause, it comes from anointing. To walk boldly into your calling, your inner strength must be fortified. Now is the time to sharpen your spiritual disciplines. Prayer will be your power, fasting will be your fuel, meditation will be your anchor, reflection will be your lens. Which of these disciplines have you neglected? Which ones are calling you back into deeper intimacy with God? During this time, you may feel the pressure rise. Doubts may try to resurface. Fear may whisper that you're not enough, but these are not signs of failure. They are indicators of forward motion. You are not being tested because you're weak. You're being tested because you're ready. Romans 5:3-4 says, "We also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." Are you able to see the blessing hidden within your trials? Realize this: your endurance is a weapon, your purity is a weapon, your clarity is a weapon. And when you walk in alignment, you become a threat to every system of darkness. That is why the attacks may increase. But so will your discernment, so will your strength, so will your spiritual visibility. Look at someone like Priscilla Shirer, a Bible teacher, speaker, and actress known for her ability to pierce hearts with truth. She didn't rise through worldly promotion. She rose through prayer, preparation, and submission to God's will. Her influence is not built on image, but on integrity. What would happen if you fully committed like that? How would your life change if obedience became your brand? This final phase of April is also about alignment. Have you been asking God for direction, wondering when your purpose will become clear? This is the time when answers begin to arrive, when doors that were previously shut will begin to open, sometimes suddenly, sometimes subtly. The divine energy flooding the earth is now being channeled directly toward your assignment. Psalm 37:23 promises, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way." Your steps are being ordered. Are you willing to move even when you don't see the full staircase? As you align with your higher calling, you'll feel it in your body, in your mind, in your spirit. You'll notice that certain conversations no longer serve you, that old habits begin to fall away without force, that new opportunities seem magnetized to your presence. This is spiritual momentum. This is divine acceleration. The more you yield to God's rhythm, the more you'll walk in favor. The world is watching, and more than ever, it needs voices that carry truth with love, strength with humility, and power with purpose. That's you. You are not just a light in the darkness, you are a compass for the lost, a balm for the broken, a mirror of heaven's mercy on earth. As you rise, others will be drawn to your peace. They will seek your wisdom. They will ask for your prayers. Are you ready to lead, not just with words, but with presence? Are you ready to become the answer to the prayers others are too afraid to speak? The world is shifting into a new era, and you, chosen one, are rising with it, not because of who you are, but because of who you belong to. Chosen one, transformation is a process, not a single event. Have you ever wondered why God doesn't just snap his fingers and instantly change your life? Why the journey seems to come in waves, phases, and sometimes long, silent seasons? That's because your transformation is holy. It is layered. It is intentional. It is not meant to rush you, but to refine you. The transformation of the chosen is a sacred unfolding, one that happens in divine stages, each building upon the last, preparing you not just to receive power, but to carry it with integrity. You are not just becoming something, you are returning to who you were always meant to be. Every step of your journey is mapped out in the divine blueprint, a heavenly design authored by God himself. This path isn't random, it's custom built for you. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope." Can you feel that divine future beginning to unfold? Are you willing to walk through the process, even when it stretches you? The first stage of transformation often begins with shedding. God begins removing the old habits, toxic relationships, limited beliefs, and fears that no longer serve your divine purpose. This shedding is not punishment. It's preparation. It's the pruning before the blossoming. Have you noticed certain doors closing, people falling away, desires shifting? That's not chaos. It's divine clarity. What are you still holding on to that God is trying to release from your life? Think of the life of C.S. Lewis. Before becoming one of the greatest Christian thinkers and authors, he was a staunch atheist. But slowly, painfully, his worldview began to unravel. He described the process as a series of quiet moments where truth began to break through his resistance. Eventually, he surrendered, not in weakness, but in awe. That same process is happening in your life now. God is stripping away the noise so he can reveal your truth. And once you've released the old, the second stage begins. Awakening. This part of your transformation may feel exhilarating and frightening all at once. Your spirit becomes sensitive, your dreams become vivid. You start discerning things others can't. Emotions rise, intuition sharpens. You sense God's voice, not just in church, but in everyday life, in whispers, numbers, patterns, and nature. Have you been experiencing strange synchronicities or sudden inner clarity? You're not imagining it. You're awakening. Romans 13:11 urges, "The hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber, because our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed." This awakening might make you feel like you're walking between two worlds, one foot in the divine, the other still tethered to the earthly. That's okay. God is shifting your atmosphere so you can learn how to live in the world, but not of it. And the more you lean in, the more your spiritual sensitivity becomes a superpower. Just like Mary Magdalene, whose past was filled with brokenness and shame, but who, upon encountering Jesus, awakened to her true identity. She didn't just change, she became one of the first witnesses of his resurrection. She carried a message of transformation that shook the world. That's the kind of awakening that is igniting within you. Then comes the third stage, manifestation. This is when you begin to see the fruits of your transformation taking form in the physical world. What was once internal becomes external. Your thoughts, energy, relationships, and even opportunities begin to shift into alignment with your divine calling. Doors open, purpose becomes clearer. You stop forcing outcomes and start flowing with divine timing. But the beauty of this stage is not just that you're blessed, it's that your blessing begins to bless others. Have you noticed people asking you for advice, confiding in you, being drawn to your presence even when you say little? That's not just you, it's the divine radiating through you. Matthew 7:20 says, "By their fruit you will recognize them." And now your fruit is beginning to show. Think about someone like Tabitha Brown. Before she was a household name, she went through years of silence, struggle, and obscurity. But as she aligned with her purpose, sharing light, food, and faith, everything shifted. Doors opened. Favor followed. But it wasn't overnight. It was through faithful transformation. That's what's happening to you. But as you step further into the light, you must also remember this truth. The more you rise, the more you must embrace divine protection. Chosen one, do you know how protected you really are? God is not just watching over you, He is surrounding you. His shield is both ahead of you and behind you. Psalm 91:4 declares, "He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart." In a world that feels increasingly unstable, this protection is not optional, it's essential. God's protection doesn't mean you won't face storms. It means the storm won't destroy you. Have you ever walked through something that should have broken you? But somehow you came out stronger, wiser, even more peaceful. That was the shield in action. Think of Corrie ten Boom again, imprisoned in a concentration camp, yet protected in spirit. She saw miracles, even in horror. Her mind remained free because her faith was intact. You too will begin to walk through storms with peace, because protection isn't about avoiding chaos. It's about carrying calm through it. This shield is emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. It's not passive, it guides you. It sends people, messages, detours, and doors. It redirects you when you're drifting and lifts you when you're weary. Are you aware of how often you've been protected and didn't even know it? And here's the truth. As you embrace divine protection, you become a protector. You become a sanctuary for others. Your peace becomes contagious. Your strength becomes a refuge. You don't just survive, you lead. You don't just receive, you pour. Isaiah 58:10 10-11 says, "If you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, the Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs and strengthen your frame." Can you feel God asking you to become that light for others? Will you extend the same protection you've received through love, wisdom, and truth? Lastly, as your transformation deepens, you'll begin to notice that the universe is speaking to you, not in superstition, but in synchronicity. God will use everything, numbers, people, conversations, songs, nature, to get your attention. A number you see repeatedly, a message that hits at the perfect moment, a coincidence that feels too perfect to be random. These are not accidents, they are signals. Chosen one, these signs are not accidents. Have you ever paused for just a moment and thought, that was too perfect to be random? That bird that crossed your path right as you asked for clarity. That dream that lingered with you for days, whispering answers you hadn't yet spoken aloud. That phone call you received just when you needed someone to speak life into your soul. These are not coincidences. These are divine appointments. God is speaking. The question is, are you listening? To recognize these signs, you must be present. You must be aware. You must learn the language of heaven. The divine doesn't always speak in thunder and fire. Sometimes it comes in the stillness, in a glance, in a whisper, in that quiet voice within. 1 Kings 19:12 reminds us that God wasn't in the wind, or the earthquake, or the fire, but in the still, small voice. Are you tuned in to the frequency of that whisper? Are you making space to hear? These messages will come in unexpected ways, through your intuition, through strangers, through nature, through moments that feel insignificant to others but carry deep meaning for you. God is not limited in how he communicates, and when you begin to align your spirit with his, even the smallest signs will feel profound. Do you remember the story of Saul on the road to Damascus? A blinding light stopped him, and a voice from heaven redirected his life. Most won't receive such dramatic signs, but what if yours are subtler? What if God is guiding you not through lightning, but through a pattern, a number, a friend's word, or an inner knowing that won't go away? Proverbs 3:6 says, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." When you open your heart to see God in everything, you begin to realize he has been speaking all along. As you begin to notice these signs, your trust in the journey deepens. You begin to realize how intricately involved God is in your day-to-day life. Have you ever received an idea, a prompting, or an urge that seemed random, but later turned out to be exactly what was needed? That's not luck. That's divine alignment. That's God's blueprint unfolding in real time. One modern-day example is Tyler Perry, who has often shared how intuition, those small divine nudges, led him to launch his first plays and eventually build an empire. He followed promptings others didn't understand, but he knew they were from God. Are you willing to act on divine whispers, even when they don't make sense to others? You must begin to see with spiritual eyes. Look for the divine in the details. Open your heart, not just your mind. Every moment is a message. Every interruption could be an invitation. The divine flow is real, and it is waiting for you to move with it. But with signs also come challenges. April will bring trials, and for the chosen ones, those trials are not setbacks. They are assignments. You may ask, why would a chosen one face so much adversity? Isn't the path supposed to get easier? The answer is no. The path gets truer. It gets more powerful. But to handle that power, you must first be forged in the fire. James 1:2-4 encourages us. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Adversity doesn't diminish the chosen, it defines them. Will you choose to see your obstacles as divine stepping stones rather than roadblocks? Chosen one, your adversity is a gateway. Every challenge is a spiritual weight room. Your spirit is being strengthened so that you can carry the responsibility that comes with leadership. Are you willing to grow through what you go through? Think of Bethany Hamilton, the surfer who lost her arm in a shark attack at 13. Many thought her career was over, but she leaned into faith, trained harder, and came back stronger. Her testimony inspired millions. Her pain became her platform. What if your current struggle is preparing you for your most powerful season of influence? Every hardship, be it personal loss, relational tension, or financial strain, is an opportunity to deepen your connection with God, to surrender more, to trust more, to lead from a place of authenticity. Your scars will speak louder than any sermon. Your survival will become someone else's strategy. Isaiah 43:2 declares, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers they shall not overwhelm you." God is not promising that you won't go through it, but that you won't go through it alone. And as you rise against adversity, you'll notice something else. Others are watching. Your courage will become contagious. Your peace will spread. Your faith will ignite faith in others. You will not only overcome, you will lead. Chosen one, the world is looking for proof that faith works. Will your life become that proof? As the global unrest continues, the world will begin to hunger for unity. This is where the chosen ones step in, not just as survivors of their own storms, but as leaders of healing. Division is reaching its boiling point. The tension between nations, races, ideologies, it's not just political, it's spiritual. And you are not here by accident. You are here as a bridge, a peacemaker, a spiritual architect called to help rebuild what fear has torn apart. Matthew 5:9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." Are you ready to be a peacemaker in your family, your community, your culture? The world is listening more now than ever before. Hearts are softening, souls are searching. Are you ready to speak when the moment comes? Are you ready to live the message before you preach it? Real leadership doesn't shout, it embodies. It guides with compassion, leads with integrity, serves with humility. And that's what you're called to do now. This is not the time for ego. This is the time for elevation. Look at Malala Yousafzai, shot for pursuing education, yet she rose to become a global symbol of peace and female empowerment. Her voice carries weight because it was birthed in pain, but molded by love. You too are being molded, and your voice will become a trumpet of truth in these transformative times. As the world begins to shift, the chosen ones will help humanity remember, peace starts within, that healing is possible, that unity is not a dream, it's a divine mandate. Through your leadership, God will bring people together under the banner of compassion, understanding, and purpose. Finally, chosen one, remember this: living in divine flow is your highest calling. This is where peace meets purpose, where surrender meets strategy. To live in divine flow means letting go of the illusion of control and embracing the reality of divine timing. It is not passivity, it is partnership. You move when God moves. You rest when He rests. You speak when He leads. And you trust that every delay is divine and every detour is direction. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Do you believe that even now, in uncertainty, God is working for you? Let this be your surrender. Let this be your rise. Let this be your divine flow. Beloved chosen one, when you live in divine flow, you let go of the need to control everything around you. Instead, you become an instrument through which God's purpose flows effortlessly. This doesn't mean the storms won't come. It doesn't mean you won't be stretched, tested, or refined. But it does mean that you will trust God more deeply. With each step, each turn, and each trial. Because in divine flow, even the detours are part of the design. The more you align with this flow, the more peace will settle over your life. You will walk with clarity, speak with boldness, and move with a confidence that isn't rooted in ego, but in divine assignment. You will begin to see how even your past pain was a bridge toward purpose, how every delay was a divine setup, how every no was making room for a greater yes. And even in uncertainty, you will know without a doubt that you are exactly where you need to be. Divine flow brings freedom, divine flow brings favor, divine flow brings fulfillment, and you, chosen one, were born for this flow. Thank you from the depths of my heart for walking through this prophetic journey with me. Whether you've been here from the beginning or just found this message, know this: your presence, your energy, and your openness have made this space sacred. If this message has spoken to your soul and you feel led to support the continuation of this mission, you can do so by donating through Super Thanks right here on the channel. Your support, no matter the amount, is deeply appreciated and helps this divine message reach even more chosen ones across the globe. But please understand this from the bottom of my heart. Even if you never donate a single cent, I am still incredibly grateful for you. Your time, your attention, your faith, and your courage to keep showing up mean everything. You are not just an audience, you are a part of this divine movement. Now, may God surround you with favor as with a shield. May you walk in clarity, anchored in truth and filled with divine strength. May every step you take be guided, every word you speak be anointed, and every storm you face become a platform for your rise. May you continue to awaken to your purpose. May your path be made clear, and may you remember always, you are chosen, you are covered, and you are rising. Until next time, stay in divine flow, walk in your calling, and never forget: the world needs what God has placed inside you. Be blessed, beloved chosen one. I'll see you soon.